Out of the 8 billion podcasts that claim to talk about sports, 99% of them talk football and basketball. And that's about it. That's because they don't know about anything else. And they bore you to tears. Welcome to the Sportsocracy, the Ocho, where sports meets comedy, sports analysis, laughs, and the occasional debate that'll likely blow the roof off. We're rowdy and loud and bringing the party straight to your ears.
The party has arrived.
And by the way, you don't have to be a sports fan to like this show, because we're pretty damned awesome, even when we're not talking sports. From baseball to hockey to wrestling to the UFC and beyond, we love it, and we're talking about it. And now your hosts, Armchair, hailing from Canada. He's a sports encyclopedia. And Dubs, the quintessential masshole who's always down for some lively banter and a little bit of the green stuff. And we're not talking about the outfield grass. Let's rock this. This is the Sportsocracy, the Ocho.
Hey, what's up, everyone? An hour early. Dubs, we're an hour early.
Yes, sir. I had a busy schedule tonight. Got to clear everything. It's pivotal game 3.
It's a pivotal game 3. I am Armchair. That's Dubs. We're here. It's the Ocho.
Sure.
And we, first off, let's give a little shout out to RC. Hung out on the What's Up Sports podcast. I forget the name of it anyway. Randy was a gracious host, invited Dubs and I on, and we had a blast. We appreciate him for that. And it was a good chat. Pat Cast was also there. He was present.
He was present.
It was good enough for me. We have fun.
Yes, sir.
I want to start off the show with a little bit of melancholy news. Unfortunately, if you haven't seen, I'm sure you have if you're a sports fan, Jerry West died today. How much more iconic can you be than the actual logo? Like, he's the logo.
Right.
He's the NBA logo. I don't know. Like, how much more iconic can you be than actually being so impactful that you actually became the logo? Played 932 games as a player, averaged 27 points and 6.7 assists with close to 6 rebounds, 5.8. There were seasons where he was like absolutely dominant, and people forget about him as a player because they mostly know him as the guy that got Kobe, Shaq, and put together those incredible Lakers teams that were the creme de la creme. So RIP Jerry West, T's and P's to the West family. Michelle Wee is married to his son, for a random Ocho fact.
I had no idea. I forgot Michelle Wee existed until about a month ago.
Yeah. Well, we don't cover a ton of women's sport on here. Not because it's bad, because just don't cover it. Got other things to do. We had a race in Montreal.
Little time.
I know. Had a great race in Montreal.
Yeah, we did. Canada played host to Formula One this past weekend.
Almost an incredible race.
Armchair almost nailed the top 3 in a parlay.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Lewis Hamilton in the worst drive of his life.
His words.
Yeah. I got dogs going on outside. That's fantastic.
Not your dogs?
Not my dogs. No, neighbor dogs just barking at someone walking by. It was a live show. This is what happens. Things happen.
I'm getting a new dog.
Oh, Dub's getting a new dog.
Yeah, 10 days.
Fantastic.
22nd.
Nice. Any takeaways from the race? McLaren is right there.
McLaren's right there. Mercedes.
In trouble.
Despite Mercedes, it was Lewis's worst drives of his life. They were still right there. They were right on pace. George Russell was great.
Yeah, he was.
Every single week, the gap Max has seems to get a little bit thinner.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get some exciting racing next year. Who knows?
Lando got screwed by poor pitting.
Right.
He needed a pit during that safety car, and he didn't. and then he came out and it was behind Oscar, and just wasn't, or right in front of Oscar.
I want to know the average that, like, just for everybody, every driver, how many wins do you lose in your career just because of pitting and strategy and mismanagement that's out of your control?
How many outs do you lose due to umpiring?
Right. So we need, like, enough with the AI. We need, like, we need real world stats.
Yeah, give me those stats.
Yeah. I need to know how many joints I've smoked. I need to know, like, all of these random minute, like, absolutely obscure facts that it'd be nice to know some of those things. You're just like, oh, I want to know this, and you can just you get like a whole row of stats. You get an Excel spreadsheet that your brain didn't know existed.
We could probably chat GPT this, like obscure stats. We're gonna make a new website, obscurestats.com.
That's how we'll make it big.
Presented by the Ocho. That's how we get there.
Ocho AI.
Ocho AI. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, look, we're early and we're here. We're having fun. We got some hockey to talk about.
We do. You want to get into hockey first?
Let's get into hockey first, because
I'm trying to get back into my DraftKings because my password I have to reset my password because I got locked out. And it's a big night to get locked out of your DraftKings.
That's a no bueno.
No, not
that. All right, let's talk a little Stanley Cup. So game one, absolutely goalied, totally goalied. Yeah, you can't have a better game if you're Edmonton without winning. They did everything right, and they just completely got Bob robbed. There's nothing else that you can really say. Like but he beat him. He beat Edmonton on the backpack. He just went
full backpack.
He just went
running the dead horse up the hill.
Yeah,
and he had some decent. He had 2 goals, and before they got that the empty netter at the end. I mean, it's not crazy support, but Bob Rob did it. Anytime there was, like, Edmonton had some opportunity, Bob Rob made some crazy save, and then it was coming back the other way.
It was a little insane.
How about what we talked about last week with the physical play? I think Florida's doing what I said they were going to do. Every time it's not as crazy or more, like, I think it's happening, but it's wearing them down. So it's not all happening right at once.
I don't know if it's wearing them down. I think the goaltending is wearing them down more than anything.
For sure.
If you ever see
it's demoralizing when anything you throw at the goalie, it's still getting stopped. Every time a breakaway.
Crossbar.
Yeah.
It's like it's just all there.
Siegfried and Roy.
Didn't matter. Like you're missing the net, or you're hitting a crossbar. The gap is like this much, and you're like, if you're plus or minus just a smidge, it's bar or it's shoulder or it's like the knob of the stick. It's like ridiculousness. Edmonton can't buy a goal. I mean, they got one. And I think that the score of game 2 wasn't really indicative of how tight that game was.
It was a lot closer, and Edmonton had the advantage for 2 periods?
Yeah, they did.
Close to it.
They gave up a couple of quick ones, and then it was like flipped on its head. Actually, they gave up one, and then they gave up another, which was later on, and it flipped it on its head. Made it a much tougher game for them. I still think that they can turn it around. I'm not confident in their ability to win the cup right now. I don't think that they get swept. I know people are talking.
I don't either.
I think it's.
They're going to win one of these next games in Edmonton. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be 3 or 4, but it's going to be one of them. People
talking like McDavid isn't on the ice. Hate to break it to you. He's doing everything he can.
Yeah.
He's trying, man.
He's trying.
Cannot put that on him.
Hyman clanked
his all.
2 of them off of Bobrovsky's mask already. Just like like you said, just a little bit plus or minus, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, Connor McDavid's been electric this entire postseason. Carter Verhaeghe, my X factor coming into the playoffs. He opened the scoring in game 1. He's been fantastic. I mean, Kachuk's doing Kachuk stuff, but he's not really getting on the scoreboard.
He's not producing anything.
Rodriguez.
Shout out
he
to
keeps getting free. He keeps getting free in the slot and just one-timer here, one-timer there.
That's crazy, man.
If you're the Edmonton Oilers, do you move away from Skinner?
No.
No, I don't.
He hasn't cost you any of those games. Like,
No.
none of those goals are like, I mean, they're not great. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, are they like, it's not Bobrovsky, but like, he didn't cost you any of that.
No.
It's not, he didn't do it.
There really hasn't been a goal where I've been like, that was on Skinner.
Yeah. I don't think
Cody Ceci, a different story. At least 2 that have been his fault.
Yeah. I don't even blame Darnell Nurse for these, although the go-ahead goal was on Nurse.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was the go-ahead goal where he was like, he's caught. That was like the most. God, I'm trying to remember which awful Maple Leaf defenseman it was. It wasn't Thomas Caberlet, but it was like maybe like the Dion Phaneuf years where he was just staring like into the corner. When you're caught staring like that, it's over for you. Like, forget about it. Game over. Might as well call it a day.
As soon as the defenseman hit 34, and they've had like 2 decent years, the Leafs are all over it.
Cut him out. They'll trade for him this offseason.
Like that's a top 4 defenseman if I've ever seen one. He had 1 year 10 years ago where he was a top 4 defenseman, and we're gonna bring that back out.
Nurse and Skinner. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Is that a lose-lose?
No, it's a win for the Oilers. The Oilers will end up getting rid of. They'll find a real goaltender somewhere and actually pay the money to sign him. We'll see what happens. Game 3, what do the Oilers need to do to turn this around?
I think they come out with a better energy. Like you said, it's demoralizing just throwing everything at a goalie and nothing's going in.
Yeah.
I think they need to come out, play fit, get into the corners. I feel like every time a puck's been in a corner, it's gone to Florida. Like,
Edmonton's won a
those
couple,
make
but
a
not
difference. Enough. Yeah, those make a difference. McDavid, not that McDavid has to get going, somebody else has to convert when McDavid tries to get them going.
Absolutely.
I think you got to come out early because the quicker you can see one go through, the quicker you can shake that mindset that Bob Robb's built up for you over the last 2 games.
He's made it very hard. Like, very, very hard to feel good about anything, right?
This has been a big issue for the Oilers all postseason long. The turnovers in their own zone. It happens all the time, whether it's the goalie on a deep pass, whether it's Bouchard, CC, Nurse, they've all done it this postseason. They try to make something and flip it back going the other way because of all that speed they have on offense, and it's not there in the playoffs. Not at least not as much.
The Oilers need to get back to quick passing out.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the short stuff instead of trying. I mean, if you've got the open guy,
throw Hail Marys all the time.
Hail Marys are fine when you've got the guy, but when you don't, like, you gotta be ready, and don't do it at the like end of a shift when you're like a minute 20 on the ice and it's in critical face off, and now nobody gets to change because you're gonna get bodied, absolutely bodied. What does Florida need to do to close out this series, put a death grip on it?
Doing what they have been. I don't know if they've done anything wrong so far.
They haven't done anything to hurt themselves. I will say this. They haven't done anything to make me feel like they've owned the series. It's kind of just felt like they've just been there and they're like winning.
I feel like they've wanted it slightly more. I've gotten that vibe.
They wanted the battles. Yeah, a little bit.
Every time.
I don't. When they were playing, when they were playing Boston.
Mm-hmm. Of course I do. It haunts me every time my head hits the pillow.
It felt like Florida was the better team. Like they were really like exerting their will. They were trying to get to the pucks, and they like when I watched it, I was like, "That's a team that wants to win."
Mm-hmm.
When I'm watching this, it feels like it's a team that just wants to wait. Like they're very much like, "I'll just be back here." They're this meme. They're the That's what they're doing. They're just sitting and waiting, and
they're
like
plotting on it.
Inevitably, Edmonton's going to cough one up, and they're going to capitalize on it because Skinner's not Bobrovsky. We said that early on, but it's
last week talking about if this was going to be Bob Robb's Hall of Fame like cementer.
Yeah. It's
Looks
looking
to
good
be.
for it, isn't it? Yeah, looking good for it. Now he has had some stinkers. Like he's had a couple of
Mhm.
games where he's allowed 5+. So
For
like
sure.
don't put it past him to have like a bad game. Also, don't write him off when he has a bad game
Yeah.
because
And like the Oilers are a top tier offensive team. They have a
yes,
ton of speed. They can put up 3 or 4 goals in a period, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh well, we got to come back in the next one. All it
absolutely.
takes is one of those for, like I said, for the Oilers to switch and have that new energy that they need to sort of turn this one around. But in my humble opinion, I said Florida at the start. They're up 2-0. I'm not going to change that.
No, I wouldn't expect you to. We had some super bizarro news, which brings
That's
us to
like
our
our
Ochos,
wheelhouse.
which is like our favorite thing.
I
Joey
can't
Chestnut.
I can't stop watching all the sports I was Googling the other day, by the way. I've watched a bunch of Buzkashi and
That's
all
amazing.
sorts of other shit. I can't stop.
I love that for you. I love that for us.
Every time I'm on
If you
break
don't
at
know,
work, I'm like, let's roll the roulette wheel and see who fucking
if
what
you
sport we land on today.
if you don't know, was that last week or week before
They
that
all
we
blend
did?
together. I
Yeah,
think it was
yeah,
last week.
it might have been last week. Go check out last week's episode on the YouTube channel.
It was
All
last
of
week. It
our
was last
archives
week.
there. Yeah, check out the YouTube archives for the Ocho, and you'll find exactly what we're talking about. Joey Chestnut was banned from Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest, 4th of July. Tragedy. It is tragic that he's been banned.
Bigger
I don't.
banning, Pete Rose from the MLB Hall of Fame or Joey Chestnut from the 4th of July hot dog eating?
It's probably Pete Rose. He is like Joey Chestnut.
This is essentially the same thing. If there was a hits leader in competitive eating, it's Joey fucking Chestnut.
Well, I've got some Joey Chestnut Major League eating records for you for our
Which,
Ocho
by the way, off the
stats
rip,
of the day.
I think it's just about the most American thing we can do as an eating competition. However, I can't watch them.
No, I'm
even
not
like
for
a pie eating contest. I don't care what it is. I'm good. I don't want to watch that. As the second a bun touches water, I'm out. I'm out on soggy bread. It's not for me.
I'm just going to read them off. 141 hard-boiled eggs in 8 minutes. It's 141 12
All of
pounds,
these are harder than hitting a fastball, by the way.
12 pounds, 8.75 ounces of deep-fried asparagus spears
Nobody wants that.
in 10 minutes.
Nobody wants deep fried asparagus spears to begin with. At least they're deep fried, but still, I'm out.
45 pulled pork sandwiches, 10 minutes. 53 soft beef tacos at Taco Bell in 10 minutes. That's a lot of Taco Bell in 10 minutes.
That's so much Taco Bell. That's more Taco Bell than any.
It really is.
Any stomach doctor has ever recommended. That's oh god, how many toilets does that go through? That's not one. That's not like 2-3 flushes. That's multiple toilets.
I got more for you because they're just incredible. Obviously, 76 hot dogs from the Nathan's Famous hot dogs.
His over was 74.5 last year.
10 minutes. In 10 minutes. 182 chicken wings in 30 minutes. That's a long time, and that's a lot of wings. 182. You eat 182 chicken wings?
No chance. We were talking last year about doing a competition for doing like going to Raising Cane's and they had like some deal where you could get like I think it was 40 chicken wings or chicken fingers, something of that nature. And we were trying to figure out how long like to set the over under at for a friend of mine to eat them. And then we went out to lunch that day and he didn't finish his meal and I completely gave up. I was like sponsoring him. I was backing it. I was like, yeah, he's got this. And then he didn't finish one plate of food, let alone 5 or 6. So
how many Crystal's hamburgers do you think Joey Chestnut ate in 8 minutes?
I think it's less than the hot dogs. It's more than the hot dogs. Good God, is it 100? It's 112.
103.
103. Jesus. Where's it go? Where's it sit? That's got to be like oh my God, my stomach would be in shambles. Flame.
390 shrimp wontons.
I really love shrimp. If there's anything I could competitively eat, it's shrimp.
I want to see if we have any others that we know. 118 jalapeno poppers in the University of Arizona in 10 minutes.
God damn.
121 Twinkies. Too much milk. At Bailey's Casino. Like, this is like, the list goes on. I mean, it doesn't really stop.
That's the equivalent of like 6 MVPs, 15 AP all NFL teams. Like, this guy's just the most decorated athlete.
His most recent record is 14 pounds of bologna sliced in 8 minutes. He ate 14 pounds. Oh, man.
Nobody should eat 1 pound of bologna.
Okay, one other one for our friends in Texas. Heb True Texas beef brisket barbecue sandwiches. How many did he eat in 10 minutes?
Hold on. What is it? I need to see a picture of this.
Heb True Texas beef brisket barbecue sandwich.
Okay. I think he probably ate. That's a pretty big fucking sandwich.
It's a big sandwich.
That's a large sandwich. How long? 10 minutes or 8 minutes?
10 minutes.
I'm going to go 16.
27.
God damn.
Joey Chestnut, one of a kind, will be not eating hot dogs on the 4th of July.
I don't understand what goes on after that. Do you have to work that off? Is he fat as fuck for like a month and not eat at all? Like, it just doesn't work in my brain. I don't get how you do that.
There's a YouTube guy that I follow around. His name's Beard Meets Food. That's his channel. Great channel, by the way. And he does like eating competitions, but not like the pro ones. Like, he just goes to like the diner and they're like, eat this full English in 30 minutes and you get a t-shirt. And that's all he wants. And it's amazing to watch. It's super fun to watch. He talks about it. He did the Nathan's contest and he's talked about what goes into it. And you don't eat before and you don't eat after, like a day or two after. And he's like, a lot of stomach stretching, just like, got to get it out. Joey Chestnut leads our most Ocho today.
Sounds like far more trouble than it's worth, in my opinion.
It's
but you can't. If you're Nathan famous, you're doing a disservice to America by banning Joey Chestnut. It's the only reason anybody's watching. I don't care about anybody else.
You really are. I don't understand.
I'm there to see Joey Chestnut. Give him the belt.
Kobayashi retired.
Exactly. He doesn't even have a rival. He's just in his prime right now. It's his world. We're living in it.
Just let him have it. We also have our Mount Rushmore today. And I wanted to so the next couple of weeks as we wind down hockey season, which could be end of this week if things go according to Florida, and we get into baseball season, I'd like to kind of dive into your
ring season,
Mount Rushmore,
parade season.
Rushmore. We got 36 minutes, so let's we're on time. We're on time.
We are.
I want to do our Mount Rushmores around the horn. And I thought, why not start with a position that is near and dear to the Sox, second base. So I don't have an order for mine. I don't think you have an order.
I don't either. Doing an all-time position list is hard to just come here and be like, these are my top 4. There's always going to be discussion.
I don't think that it's fair to anyone at all to go,
hey. Such an old sport. You can't you're like, what era are we doing? Are we going all time?
Yeah, like neither of us included I don't know, did you include Roger Hornsby?
I have him in his own category on my list. He's by himself.
Mean, he's incredible, but
he hit 358 against Plumbers.
Yeah, I didn't see him play.
Right.
Played from 1915 to 1937. Is way out of my era.
Yeah.
I do have some people that I saw Briefly, I have some I don't have Jackie Robinson in there. Shout out Jackie. All
If
time.
you played during the Great Depression, I've seen zero of your legacy.
I'm going to start us off with Chase Utley.
Ooh, okay.
Uh,
If he didn't spend so many years injured, I think he'd be a no doubter.
I mean, he still slugged 465 and his on base
sure.
percentage was 822. He didn't have the hits that you would want. 1885 hits, 1103 runs, 259 home runs, and more than 1,000 RBIs. Did have 54 stolen base.
He hit like 200 of those home runs in like his first 6 seasons.
Yes, yeah, where he was like untouchable.
Yeah,
he did end up playing 1,937 games.
Hit 332 in 08. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was just his career batting average is 274, and you can't argue with that. Like that's a good for a modern guy. Like that's good.
Fantastic.
So I put Chase Utley on the list. I feel like you have to. I feel like you should.
I like it. I'm gonna go. This is, I think, probably the oldest guy on my list or close to it for like out of my modern day guys. Ryan Sandberg
has to be.
He won an MVP with the Cubs. Second baseman don't win MVP. It just doesn't happen. The 10-time All-Star. Obviously, he's in the Hall of Fame. He had a 40 home run season in there. He's always hitting around 300. His career average is at 285.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Just under 300 career home runs. Yeah, 68 WAR. Ridiculous. And the MVP always helps. We'll see that.
Definitely helps.
A couple minutes on my list, but one of the all-time Cubs.
Absolutely. Next on my list, I'm going to go with one of the killer bees, Craig Biggio.
Yep,
whose son
on my list as well.
Sadly, was released from he was DFA'd from the Jays. They were like, "Yeah, look, we got no room for you." He's a Dodger now.
He is a Dodger. I saw there is like a MLB posted like a graphic of him, and all the comments were like, "Why does Biggio get a graphic? If this wasn't the Dodgers, he wouldn't get a graphic." He got DFA'd.
He's probably going to get DFA'd again.
Yeah.
He's a super utility guy, and he's a plus fielder with a minus bat. So unfortunately, he's not his dad.
Nope.
He's not his dad. That's what 65 WAR for Craig. Over 3,000 hits. Like let's start there. 3,000 hit club is rare air for sure. 291 home runs, over 1,100 RBIs, 414 career stolen bases.
Just puts in his perspective how many stolen bases Ricky Henderson has.
Yeah, it's great. Unbelievable, right?
Probably the most unbreakable record in baseball.
Craig Biggio is why I watched the Astros. The Astros were my National League team for a long time before they came to the American League. They were my National League teams. I love if you talk to baseball fans, every American League fan will have a National League club that they sort of like cheer for when your team's off.
Yep.
That's what we do because, you don't get to play every day. So when they're off, you're like, oh, I'll check in on how the Astros were a fun story because they were kind of lovable losers. And then Berkman and Biggio.
Had that really weird hill in center field.
Loved it.
Brad Lidge.
Brad Lidge. Lights out Lidge.
Oswald. That rotation just had like constant flow of stars coming in and out of it.
Albert Pujols took a dump on their chest. What do you want from me? Deposited it right in the porch. He said, "Thanks for playing."
Yeah, I tend to lean towards the Cubs for my National League team. They're always on when I get home from school back in the day. Yeah. Day games. Wrigley's got the IV, lovable losers for ever and ever and ever. And they had some really good teams. I remember watching a ton of games when they had like Carlos Zambrano and Maddox and Ted Lilly and Aramis Ramirez.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic teams. But Craig Biggio, great shout.
Yeah.
When I went to the MLB Hall of Fame, it was his year. Like he
Oh,
was
nice.
inducted that previous spring. Him and Pedro. Got to see my guy.
I love Pedro.
Next up for me, I'm gonna go with another one of my guys, Dustin Pedroia. Another one like Chase Utley. If he got just a few more years of his prime, I think he would be an absolute no doubter. MVP his rookie season, Gold Glove, MVP, Rookie of the Year, absolute animal.
Until he wasn't, but he was amazing when he was, man.
Fuck Manny Machado for that. I'll never forgive that guy. I don't care what happens. He could win a Nobel Peace Prize and he'd still be a piece of shit to me. Dustin Pedroia, cut down in his prime, but one of the all-time Red Sox, top fantastic leader. I think he'll end up being a manager sooner rather than later. It's not gonna be able to keep that guy away from baseball.
I hope so.
I would love to see more of him. I think he's got a great I don't even know, like build makeup to be a manager.
Yeah, he's got a good temperament.
Just under 300 career average, which also kills me. 299.
So close.
So close.
So close.
Full-time All-Star.
He was it, man. He was it. He carried the team for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Anytime you need a big player, it's Dustin.
He would come out. He was just clutch. He was super clutch, which I hated.
And he loved playing off that monster.
God, I love playing off. Yeah, he did. You know what to do with it. That's all.
Oh yeah, certain guys just when they start coming up or we sign them, you're like, that guy's gonna rake with the green monster in left field.
Yeah, he just
Jorah's one of those guys.
Drop the knee.
Oh my god, yeah.
Kick it up
all the time. He dropped that knee so much.
Knee down, kick it up.
Beltre.
Yeah,
Beltre's another one.
He might make it on the third base list. He's probably gonna make it.
He might. He probably will.
There's a good chance he makes it. He's one of those unbelievable guys. You like relook at his stats and you're like, oh, fuck, man, what happened? My number 3 is going to be Robbie Cano. Did have a 300 career average, 68 WAR, just shy. Like 2,639 hits. It's hard to get 3,000 hits, man. It's really hard. And he was hurt a little bit at the end. 335
suspended a little bit at the end.
Well, he was, but 51 stolen bases. Wasn't really a steal bag guy, but just absolutely raked. I liked him. Yeah, I liked him better as a Mariner.
Oh, of course we did. Everybody did.
Fuck the Yankees.
Fuck the Yankees. When he was with the Yankees too, there was always I felt like he had more drama than
he did.
When he was with Seattle. But goddamn, those last Yankees years, 320, 302, 313, 314.
What do you even do with that?
Damn near 30 bombs every year.
Yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous.
God, I hate that. That lineup they had at the end of the 2010s was just it was a murderer's row. Curtis Granderson was hitting 30 home runs a year for leading off.
Just insane. All right, what do you got for your number, Trace?
This one's tough. I'm taking a couple of mine that I was going to have on there. Where do we put Altuve?
Outside looking in.
I think I agree.
He's not quite there. I mean, if he has another MVP season, I mean, he's going to be an all-star this year. I don't know if you've looked at the second baseman eligible to be voted for.
I haven't.
He's hitting 299, on that team, on that trash throws team. It's not. He's still playing out of his head. We just don't care because the Astros are the villainous Astros now.
Yeah, so just dropped 2 out of 3 to the Giants, who were skidding.
I don't know, man. I feel like he's on the outside looking in, and he could have, if he continues to play at this level, he's probably in the Hall of Fame. I don't see how you keep him out. He's probably one of the best to ever do it. That scandal is going to haunt him for the rest of his life, whether he did or didn't participate. People will never believe him. No one will ever believe him.
Nope.
Unless he comes out with a book entitled titled "If I Did Do It."
This is how I do it.
Just like OJ.
Buzzers on my nipples and trash cans.
Yeah.
The Jose Altuve story.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I got Roberto Alomar.
I had a really tough time with Robbie.
I figured he would be one of your first names because of his time in Toronto.
Well, yeah, he's an all-timer, but he had the sex scandal thing, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so like he's like, is he a Hall of Famer? Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Is he also trash?
Yeah. Yeah, he don't play 15 years for no reason though.
No.
67 WAR, 300 batting average, 200 bombs. And debuted young. He was an everyday starter at 20.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen much anymore.
Yeah, he's on the ineligible list after investigation into sexual misconduct allegations from 2014.
Robbie.
Yeah.
Don't do crimes.
Yeah, don't do crimes. So.
Don't do crimes, and we won't have to put asterisks next to your name here on our Ocho Mount Rushmores.
We're gonna have to.
We're gonna have to. I'm putting it on my notes right here.
Yeah, just go. Sorry,
Bang.
man.
Little shift
Noted.
8 for Robbie.
My number 4 is Joe Morgan. Now,
yeah,
I want to preface this by saying Joe Morgan finished playing the year I was born. I did not watch him play in real time. I did see plenty of highlights, but I felt like a guy with 100 career WAR and a career batting average of 270 and 2,500 career hits and 1,100 RBI and almost 700 stolen bases, 689, had to be on the list. He walked a ton too, 1865 career walks.
One of the best all time. I think he's probably, if you had to ask a bunch of people who the best second baseman of all time is, it's probably Joe Morgan. I think that's probably going to have your highest percentage of answers.
Yeah, I would say so. It had to be there, right?
He was penciled in as my one on my list because I had him. I didn't know if we're doing all time, totally. Modern day, whatever. He was on both lists because I needed to get him in there somewhere. I got a couple more honorable mentions here. Jeff Kent.
Love some Jeff Kent.
Who's always good for some drama. He hit bombs. Second baseman that hit bombs are fun.
He played in Toronto for a little
bit. Yeah, that's right. I just always think of him as the Giants.
Everybody does.
Barry Bonds beef.
Yeah.
I like Jeff Kent.
I like Jeff Kent too.
He's kind of been labeled as like a dick.
Yes.
But
he probably was.
I mean, when you're that good, I would be criminal if I was rich and famous for being a good athlete. Nobody would be able to tell me anything. I would be right 100% of the time, and it's just how it'd be. So anytime somebody's like a nice stand-up human, when they have all that money, I'm like, you know what? He's doing it right. That guy's a better guy.
How do you feel about? I'm going to give you 2 names that played more recently.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Ben Zobrist? How
Good shout.
About Ian Kinsler?
Kinsler was like way down on my list. His name came up. I didn't ever think of putting him up there, but
yeah,
he's in the Hall of Very Good. Ian Kinsler, Ben Zobrist, Dan Uggla. All 3 of those dudes I put kind of in the same category. Placido Polanco.
Yeah.
He played for like 20 years.
Chat is
Zobrist also just killed us.
Yes, he did. He killed you and he killed me.
Yeah.
He killed everybody.
Constantly.
Placido Polanco.
One of the best names.
With Shane Victorino on the Phillies that year.
Polanco did, yeah.
Placido Polanco.
He
It's
got
a
it.
great
Oh
name.
wait,
Is
no,
that Howie Kendrick?
he went to Detroit before that. Yeah, he was gone. They traded him in 05. Tough. I could have sworn he was on that Phillies team.
Yeah, me too.
Now it's gonna kill me.
Could have been Orlando Hudson. No, not O-Dog. It's
Is it 08 or 09?
I think it's Howie Kendrick. I don't
08.
remember if it was 08. Yeah. Utley.
Yeah, Utley was there. Tadahito Iguchi. Pedro Feliz.
Yeah, I don't remember.
They had 2 Taguchis.
Amazing. Just to keep you on your toes.
Earl, Jason Worth. God, that team is loaded. Ryan Howard in his prime.
Chat is quiet tonight. Otherwise, I'd ask them what position you want to do next. So, what position would you like to do next week? Do we go around the horn? Do we go over to third?
I think third. That was the first position that came to my head. I want to do shortstop. I think last in the infield.
All right, we'll do third, then we'll do third, then first, and short.
Yeah. I think shortstop's going to be hardest. That's why.
Shortstop
I think there's
is
going to be the
hardest.
most amount of names, followed by first base. And then outfield, like.
Outfield, it's impossible.
It's impossible. We're going to have 35 names on each position.
Outfield is going to be like a mount of, I don't know. It's just going to be too many names.
And two guys are currently playing, which is fantastic. Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, they have to be on there.
Well, yeah, but then you look at the other play. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Let's make my head hurt already. That's why we got to start with second base.
Yeah. Second base is easy.
We'll finish the infield, then we'll hit catcher. We got to
do a little break,
reset a little bit, and then we'll hit the outfield.
Because it's getting close to time. It's time for Stone Stories.
Oh my God, I can't fucking wait for basketball. I'm back in my DraftKings too, by the way. Crisis averted.
Crisis averted.
I'm about to cook up some parlays.
Attaboy.
All right, Stone Stories this week. Hockey related, Stanley Cup related. Look at that, intertwining them this week. Florida man has found himself behind bars after he allegedly broke into a church and subsequently tried to smash a police officer in the head with a Stanley Cup. Timothy Bourneman, 24, was arrested and charged with burglary, criminal mischief, battery on a law enforcement officer, and resisting arrest with violence after the incident that unfolded at the Mission Church in Palm Bay on Saturday. Just after 5:15 p.m., police responded to the church on Emerson Drive after a man was reported to have made his way inside. Bourneman allegedly broke into the shed, grabbed a sledgehammer, and broke the church's front door open to get inside, which is when he, quote, started damaging everything in sight. He did more than $10,000 worth of damage, and the entire time he was screaming and he chucking shit, smashing stuff with the sledgehammer, throwing the sledgehammer. Crazy stuff. Officers found a man later identified as Bourneman who was walking in the parking lot, yelling and cursing at churchgoers. According to an arrest affidavit, as the first officer that approached him, the guy said, "I'm going to fuck you up." That's a quick way to get arrested, shot, tased, anything, especially in Florida. I just saw a video the other day of Florida sheriff encouraging people to shoot perpetrators.
That was absolutely wild.
Yeah.
They would prefer that. We would
prefer that. We would prefer you shoot them, actually.
Unbelievable.
And that's the state where you want to go up to the cop and go, "I'm going to fuck you up." No chance. You were going to be instantly shot on the spot. Yes, de-escalating. There's nothing but instigating going on. He did not listen to officers' commands. Shocker. Did not get on the ground. Shocker. He then tried to hit him in the head with a metal Stanley Cup, not a real Stanley Cup,
yeah, the Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I get you.
Bourneman, he tried to run away. after smashing this cup over an officer's head. No dice. Officer used a taser on him as he went down. Officers took him into custody after a brief struggle. In a post-Miranda interview with police, which is a fun way to say that. The pre-Miranda and post-Miranda interviews are a lot different, I bet. Bornman admitted to breaking into the church and causing the damage inside. Funny how that works. Said that the church stole everything from him. And that's why he broke into the church and caused all the damage inside. Boardman was taken to a local hospital for medical clearance and was then transported to the Brevard County Jail, where he remains in custody on a $17,000 bond. That's nothing. We can go get this guy out today, and we can get the real Stanley Cup in his hands and see what he does with that.
Probably.
This is what you're doing, Florida Panthers. You're bringing a real Stanley Cup potentially down to a state full of hooligans and heathens. Not going to get in depth on these other two, but two headlines I wanted to share with you. A python swallowed a woman whole in Indonesia. 16-foot long snake. Fuck that. Snakes get above. I'm all for animal rights. If a snake's above 10 feet, it's got to go. There's nothing good going to be coming from that snake. It's too big. We don't need that. 16 feet? Fuck that. It just took a lady out of her home and just snatched her. Nobody knew. Missing persons reports, all that. Nobody knows that she's inside of a snake. And a grocery store in New Zealand has to add body cameras because of a 75% increase in assaults on staff. People are going into a grocery store in New Zealand, getting a whole bunch of shit, going to check out, and just wham! One tap in the cashier on the other side of the fucking what do they call it? I mean, the aisle, but did they just call it an escalator? Like, you know how the fucking is there a specific name for that? I don't know. I feel like there would be.
I don't know what it is.
In New Zealand for sure there is. They've got something dumb to call it.
My favorite part of this segment is just the tip, aka Dubs gives you a headline and you just got to figure it out. I'm gonna eat a whole by snake. That's on you.
Do your own
That's
research,
on you,
brother.
Google that shit.
I brought you one. If you're interested in
it's
seeing a lady get eaten by a snake, check it out. If you're interested in
it's not a mariachi band.
Horrific Instagram feeds, hit me up. I can send you some crazy shit. Python.
It's not a mariachi band.
No, it's not.
Fighting a fire breather, but it's pretty close.
Nothing will beat that. Last week was pretty great too. That guy just scattering rubber snakes and cell phones after he drove right through the front door of a jail. Like, I'm here. Come get me. Take me in. I'm fucking
I also
crazy.
Like the guy that the Dennis the Menace. The Dennis
the Menace was fantastic. Prince King. There's another. Here's another headline for you.
Prince King. Shout out Prince King.
71-year-old man stole like $30,000 worth of Legos or something. And then the Reddit post that I read about it was they're saying how the cops pulled up there, and like while they were there, like 4 or 5 different people showed up trying to buy them. But like, this guy's just been stealing Legos and selling them off. Somebody in the comments was like, I bought a bunch of Legos from that guy. Probably don't say that on Reddit if he just went away for crimes. No, don't. I definitely bought stolen shit. I bought a stolen hat from a guy in a DC mall once.
It's here's what. Okay, so quick story as we get out of here, because Dub's got to make a tip. I want to make sure that he has enough time to take a piss and light up and get his libations ready and be prepared. Because I know Dubs and he's going to need that. 2 things.
Boston livery.
Jack absolutely. I need you to subscribe to the newsletter if you already haven't. Yep. Friday, I will have we'll have another recap. We'll give you our most Ocho story of the week, which may be Joey Chestnut. I don't know. You're going to have to subscribe to find out. And there may be some DFS or some bets in there. Straight bets were a push this week, 50%, but it's pretty solid. Lewis Hamilton took me from over the edge. Dubs may get involved here on that side of things so that we can save some time and effort. 2, I was in New York City on a trip with my school band. Our school band was not like a regular school band. They were like a We were like a championship caliber school band. So like we got invited like across the world to go compete in competitions, and like we got invited to New York pre 9/11. And I absolutely went up to a guy who had a garbage bag, and he was like, you want some Oakleys? And I was like, yeah, man, I'll take like 5 pairs. And he's like, $20. And I was like, deal.
Done.
And he's like, these are genuine. And I was like,
these are my last $20, sir. Here you are.
But we wanted Folkleys. We wanted Folkleys. That's all we wanted. Yeah, buddy, Tao, MVT.
Tao.
We went an hour. We were an hour early. Got your noties on. I know you got your noties on.
I got to make tip off tonight.
It's Celts. Celts Mavs. Dubs needed the night.
Although, Tao, hey, Kristaps can't go. I may need another big, tall, white guy. If you're around.
MVT?
You make
MVT
Dallas
around?
quick. Yeah.
Can we get
How's your
him a
high
PJ?
post game?
Get MVT on a PJ right now. Got to get him down to Dallas. I also bought a watch from a guy in a briefcase, and I was like, this is absolutely fake. And then I went to the store to like have it authenticated, and they were like, yeah, this is definitely real. And they're like, where'd you get it? And I was like, in Canada. Okay, bye.
Later.
Grabbed it and I left.
Canada's got all the real stuff.
It was like $400 or $500 Fossil watch, which I later broke, but I got it for $20. Second base round Rushmore, just 4 gunners. Come on.
4 PDs before you
Come on. All right, that's it. That's all.
Mine was also a garbage bag situation, and then later on I saw I bought 2 hats out of a garbage bag. My buddy bought 2 hats, $10, easy.
Oh yeah, I bought a hat out of a garbage bag too. I don't care that. The guy's like, it's authentic, and I was like, whatever you say, my friend, just give me the hat for $10. I
could make eye contact with the cashier at Lids from where he sold them to me. And I bought these 2 hats. We were walking around the mall, maybe 13. I hope
you were doing it with like hard eye contact as you buy. Like,
well, it was definitely like he was like, "You want some hats?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll buy some hats. They're cheaper here than out there, I bet." And then, not 20 minutes later, I saw 2 cops walking behind him, like radioing to each other, and he was like, "Oh shit!"
Amazing. New York City, ladies and gentlemen.
That was DC, but
that
still,
was DC. Same
thing.
Same thing. It's where dreams are made of. For Dubs, I'm Armchair. We will see you next week at the regularly scheduled time. Sorry, MVT. Had to go early. Dubs got to get the tip. He's got to get just the tip.
Yes, sir.
That's what she said. Name of his sex tape. Okay, that's it. Later. Peace.